Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is also quite well during those times right now. My name is Don. I'm working for TI People, and actually today I wanted to quickly introduce you into TI People and the co-created approach that we just put together with our clients on how to follow the path of employee experience from start to scale. I guess pretty much in these times, it's a topic that becomes more and more important to really understand what kind of experiences we are creating and how to manage those. So therefore, I wanted to start with something I guess all of your organizations have in place, which is a mission. And our mission is to enrich lives at work through superior employee experience at scale. But what does that actually mean, and how we're doing that is what I would like to show you today. So in this slide, actually, you can see that we've been established 4 years ago, and the main idea was to bring together people who are responsible for employee experience as a topic, because we believe that they have some common challenges. And our idea was to bring together those people so they can think about solutions to overcome those challenges. I will come to some of those challenges in a couple of minutes, but mainly the idea was to come up with an idea that allows organizations to pretty much drive this EX transformation forward. And again, especially nowadays, we hear a lot of organizations telling us they're eager to understand what their employees currently are experiencing and also how they can really handle this. Because obviously, currently, COVID-19 is creating a lot of moments that matter or moments of truth for your employees. So that means now is the time to really identify and understand what kind of experience are caused during this time, and also when people coming back to the offices. So we took the knowledge of some of the logos you can see on the right-hand side, and we brought them together to think about how you can handle employee experience and how to get started with it. And one of the key things we found in the beginning of this was that a key challenge for organizations is actually to get business buy-in. So that means what's the real impact on the business value of EX? So how do you quantify this impact, and what does it really mean when speaking maybe to the business on why this is an important topic? So this is actually something that we created for a client and validated it through our research. And it's a business value tree of employee experience. And simply, it's putting employee experience and divides this into two types of experiences that are covered with this. One is on the lower end, the effortless experience. So that means everything around, I don't want to spend a lot of time, for example, on changing data in the HRIT system. And the upper one is experience at moments of truth, or sometimes it's called moment that matter. And it's mainly around personalized, emotionally loaded experiences that you're creating. And on the basis of those two types of experience being covered by employee experience, you can see those paths that were going to the right-hand side and their impact on business value. So just simply put, if you're able to improve the experience at moments of truth, you will be able to drive engagement. And on the lower path, you can see if you're able to improve the effortless experience, you will be able to reduce the time invest of all the involved stakeholders. In this case, it's managers, employees, and the support staff. And by thinking about it, the main idea was actually come up with something where you can create a business case to really have an internal discussion and aligned idea on what you would like to achieve with employee experience. So there are different ways of putting this, but this would be an idea to really create and compute the potential of employee experience and to drive those internal conversations. And of course, when you have created this common aligned vision on what you would like to achieve, the tricky part is then, what does it actually mean? How can we execute it, and how can we put it in some kind of a roadmap? So therefore, that was the beginning of our work with organizations to start thinking about what are the main obstacles. And we actually came up with 4 things. So you can see on the left-hand side, EX guidance, it's mainly addressing the point that we do see that organizations typically doing a lot of important and valuable things, but there's one element in most organizations that is pretty hard to achieve, which is this component of having a common understanding and aligned view on what each stakeholder wants to achieve through employee experience. So therefore, think about this as something where you can leverage alignment workshops and using really the knowledge of different stakeholders within your organization to have this clear idea of what do we like to achieve and define some milestones. The other step that is then something helping you to really put this into a roadmap and prioritize is EX intelligence. It's something that my colleague Rufino explained earlier this day, which is around the employee experience index. Basically, it's leveraging data and benchmarking to identify the as-is situation of what is the quality of the experiences that you're creating at the most important touch points. Again, linking back to the slide before, that's a combination of the experiences at moments of truth and also the effortless ones. With the idea to put that together, you have then an aligned vision on what you like to achieve. You have the data to really identify some business challenges. So something where you identified on the basis of data and benchmarks that there's something not ideal and could be better from the perspective of the employees. And that's something that we would then address in EX design and enablement. You can think about this as using the data, and you've identified something like what is the quality of onboarding for managers in France or recruiting for digital talents in Germany, for instance. That would be something that is then identified as this business challenge with the idea of then finding a business partner who is jointly working with you on then redesigning this specific business challenge. And the idea is to jointly design with representatives of that employee group to then come up with something where you can really provide a better experience. So the idea is really make use of your employees being able to design a better experience and then use this as an internal success story and as a multiplier and mobilizer for scaling this up internally. So really having something in your pocket that then allows you to say, this is what we achieved for really focusing on this business challenge. And then that brought us to the last step, which is here called EX management, where it's mainly around having some governance structure in place that allows you to globally manage and moderate employee experience and also enable the local enablement and being able to really change the behavior of the people who are responsible for those experiences at those touchpoint levels. So that means it's something that follows the idea of think big, so think visionary, but start small with something that is based on data and benchmarks, and then iterate as you scale. So that means after you have identified this problem space, you have worked on this together with your employees, and you have then identified how to improve that experience, you can then use this to iteratively think about how can we scale this up and make use of that. Everything on the basis of clear and identified business value of employee experience. So this is actually the approach that we took. And one of the key takeaways is actually that in order to drive forward, especially in those times right now where there's so much uncertainty, it's basically all built around a deep understanding of what are the experiences that you're currently creating for your employees, and also combine that with a clear idea of what's important for your employees. So not only data as such, but data tied to the real important touch points that you are delivering to your employees. And because of this uncertainty, and because there's just so many things that are currently happening, we've set up a set of exploration classes to discuss with experts and practitioners on what does it mean? How can you handle all of this uncertainty? And how can you actually maybe use data or any other type of method to come up with a good set and foundation to really manage the current situation and make sure that your employees will be satisfied and happy with their experience that they're currently having. So if this sounds interesting, feel free to use this QR code. It's cost-free and you can register there for the upcoming Expiration classes. Unfortunately, one of those Expiration classes is this afternoon, but there are 2 upcoming ones, and if this sounds interesting, feel free to register.